custom exhausts. She'll leave it on there, see how much power it'll make. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be working on my friend Chris's Camaro. We're going to be putting a newer 6-liter LS in it, and he has a ton of parts for this car. He's over here, he's kind of camera shy, so. What's up, Chris? You can come over here. So he's gonna be helping. It's his car. Hoorah! Look at this thing. Performance. Sweet. The Camaro is out of the shop. The Caprice police car is in to get stripped. So what I'm going to do is pull this 6-liter LS out of here. I believe it has a 4L80, but most of this is going to come out and go into the Camaro. And there's a bunch of parts over here. There's headers, cam, intake manifold that we're going to be putting on this engine so it will fit in the Camaro. But let's get this thing stripped and then get it out of the shop and get everything pretty much cleaned up. It looks like it needs to be pressure washed. It almost looks like those are iron heads, but I guarantee they're aluminum. They just are so grimy and dirty. They just kind of look like it.
I pulled out. There's an LS on the cart.
Mm-hmm. Give it up! There we go.
Get along with extensions. Some of the extensions on those too.
I think you might just be held up on coolant lines. There you go.
I think he's backing out.
Well, you probably didn't put Loctite on.
No, he didn't.
Well, it depends on the pan they gave you. Oh, they didn't give you a longer pan, did they?
Yeah, there's some shit in that pan there.
So there should be a pickup in the pan. They just do it for like views on YouTube.
You see where they throw it and see if it'll crack?
Yeah, well that's all because of whistling diesel. Because those
Do it on the...
well, those RB cams. So what happens is so there's a company called Tomei, and well, there's a bunch of different Japanese companies, but there's American brands that have their names because Tomei and HCAS and all those companies, they didn't come to the US and trademark their name before these guys did. So now there's these companies that have their name in the US selling Chinese parts, and that's what the dude had in his car. He had some Chinese cams, and they're Chinese cams. I do the drop test.
When we make whistle and diesel money, yeah. Try some of it.
You did try some of it?
No, I'm gonna.
Yeah, you got me to do it. You like the rest of the YouTubers that hammer it in.
I can't afford to do that.
Like, hey guys, look at me. I got my new cam. I'm gonna hammer it in, see if it runs. Oh, it does run because it's gonna run, but it ain't gonna last.
Oh.
I put adjustable ones on everything.
Dirt thing.
What about the height? Oh, not all of them. Some are 6.4s.
All the time.
The mafia in New York City in a stranglehold, but the murder of Carmine.
have a drone. It's a DJI. Oh, that douche.
They say front, so you put them on the front. Yeah, you should make sure that they're supposed to send you. The studs are way better. All ones last. Oh, there it is. Oh, it wasn't a piece of cardboard, it was a piece of wood. So check your pickups, because this could go through your oil pump and ruin it on a brand new oil pan. You have to figure out who makes this oil pan. I think it's just a Chinese company. week and a half of waiting, the intake manifold gaskets came for the fast intake manifold. So if you're trying to make an event, you probably should make sure that you order these, because for some reason they don't come with the intake, and you're going to end up missing the event because you're not going to have intake gaskets. So let's get these on the engine and get the rest of the stuff assembled, and we should be able to put this back in the car.
Fox Motorsports, ladies and gentlemen, for finally sending us the correct shit.
So we ended up having to remove the heads and all the components, the camshaft, because they sent the wrong parts. They sent the wrong head gaskets. They were actually, I'm pretty sure they're supposed to send ARP's studs instead of bolts, but we're going to end up reusing those. We have the correct camshaft, correct intake manifold now, and correct head gaskets. So everything should go together relatively easily this time. You think, Chris?
I hope so.
You gotta lube that camshaft up. There's some lube right there.
Give me some Huck-Tui.
Some.
Oh, that. You want me to use that one? All right.
Oh, we need to clean it off first. I don't like that packing oil. I guess it really doesn't matter, but.
Okay, very cool. Put some screws on there.
Yeah, you can put some more grease on them if you want. I feel like that manifold they sent was already returned, because the seal isn't in the manifold.
So now I have extra seals?
No, this is for the...
Oh, for the throttle body?
We got the engine most of the way together. This video has gone on quite some time. So what happened was the company, Tox Performance, sent all the incorrect parts for this build. They specialize in these PPV police cars into like Camaros and a bunch of other stuff. So they should know what they're doing, but they sent us the wrong cam. They sent us the wrong intake, a bunch of the incorrect parts. The heads are LS3 heads, pretty much an LS2 block. That's what the police cars came with, and they are supposed to specialize in it. So this has been going on for quite some time. And then this oil pan that was supposed to fit, because you need the extra clearance for the cross member on the Camaro, also doesn't fit the engine. So they told my friend Chris that you just had to trim it, and we've trimmed there's pretty much no windage tray left in there. And then he bought I think they're like $600, $500 or $600, the race baffle, so it has the 4-trap doors like I have in the GTO. That didn't fit with the pan, so he kind of beat it up to try to make it fit. The pan still doesn't fit, so now he's out like almost $1,000 with his stupid pan and that windage tray, or the baffles, and we still don't have it in the car. So, oh, and then another thing, the Motion Raceworks steam vent line kit that's supposed to fit these intake manifolds doesn't also fit. So, yeah.
These pieces of shit are like $300.
Yeah, $300.
And all the fittings don't clear that intake, so I'm assuming that they sent it to fit a different LS model, not the LS3. The whole top end of this car needs to be LS3.
Yeah, but
the bottom end has to be
the intake manifold with the fast intake still doesn't, you know, these are going to fit. They should fit with a stock intake or with the fast one, or with the LS1, LS2, LS3, the fast intakes don't change much.
Right,
And
but they also sent us the wrong intake originally too. So.
yeah, so yeah, this is the wrong stuff. Well, it's not the wrong stuff. It just doesn't work. I mean, you have to just cut a bunch of stuff up to make this Motion Raceworks crap work. And, you know, the more they make, the worse it gets. So hopefully we get this thing in the car. Chris is probably like 15 grand deep in this thing now, and not very much progress has been made. I mean, we got the engine almost all the way together. Looks pretty decent, but by now it should be running and driving after all this time. Yep. And then it took the what was it called? Hawks Performance. It took like him filing a credit card dispute to get his money back for them to finally send the parts, because it was $8,000 just in parts, the intake manifold, the cam, and all that stuff. And then they finally sent the parts after he filed that dispute. So if you're going to work on the PPVs, you could get the parts by yourself. They don't really specialize in much. I would just recommend going, with a Moroso oil pan. This is a Chinese pan. We actually saw the company that makes this pan for like $50 at SEMA. And I told them the pan doesn't fit the engine. I was like, it doesn't clear your pickup tube. It doesn't clear the windage tray. And the lady's like, what?
Scan your card?
Yeah, she wanted to scan my card. So, yeah, we'll figure this thing out. I mean, we need to test fit in the car, but I think this oil pan needs to go back, and they probably need to, or we just need to cut it up more, but we need to see where it's hitting and then kind of go from there. It's just kind of an expensive pan to start cutting up.
Yeah, I don't know where these guys on YouTube are coming up with these $1,200 and $1,500 LS swaps, but this is like beyond carried away. And I'm not building some super high horsepower car. I was just pulling a shitty V6 out of a 90 Camaro to get a little more performance, maybe have some fun on the track with this car. And this is just out of hand.
Yeah, even if you're pulling this engine out of a junkyard, a view pull for like $300, you're still going to be in mounts and all the other stuff at bare minimum $5,000 to $8,000 in an LS swap now. It's not cheap anymore.
Well, and a lot of my money counts into, I bought the Camaro from Copart as a theft recovery, and I also bought the cop car, which I think I have about $3,600, $3,800 into that car.
Yeah. And
then once mine and your labor pulling all this out, and then I ordered a complete kit. It was supposed to be a hassle-free kit. I'm not an engine builder like Dave is, but I do know the basics on a lot of this stuff. And this stuff here, the average person wouldn't be able to do this in their backyard without any experience with engines and stuff.
And I think this is why people get discouraged. They order the parts. It's supposed to be a swap kit where it's supposed to 100% directly bolt together, and you don't have to fabricate anything. And then you get into stuff like this, and then people start putting it together, and then it just sits because they can't get it together. They've already spent 15 grand on a swap, and then it just would make sense to piece it together with parts that most of these companies don't even know what they're doing anyway.
What I'm starting to learn is it's better to just find the guy that built one, and he's going to dump it, and just go pick up his, and hopefully he built it right, and you'd be way more money ahead than trying to build your own like this stuff. So yeah. So I mean, we pretty much have, if he was having a shop do this work, because we had to pull the whole engine back apart because they sent the wrong head gaskets. They still never sent the studs. It was supposed to be studs instead of bolts. And then the head gaskets, they sent normal like truck head gaskets instead of the LSA ones. And I mean, it's just one of those things. They're like, oh well, it was a guy that we fired. But I've heard companies say that all the time. He's probably the owner.
Yeah. So
and they didn't cut me no credits back, nothing. And I wouldn't recommend anybody using Hawks Motorsports for anything. So
yeah.
If they're outsourcing this to that same Chinese company.
Oh, that's that Chinese company's pan.
That lady didn't understand anything but sales. She don't understand the pain that a lot of people go through trying to make this stuff fit. And it's not fair that I'm all this money now and we're still running into issues to where this motor should almost have been ready to go in that car by now.
Yeah, it should have already been in the car. I mean, we had this thing all the way back together the first day. We had it out and together with the cam and the heads and all that stuff back on it. And then the intake manifold didn't fit. We would have had it in the car if all the parts were right in one day.
Yeah, technically we haven't really spent a lot of time on it. All our time's been wasted with incorrect parts and now
redoing stuff.
And then redoing. So the head's been off twice. 2 cams have been in there, never even been ran. So
yeah. I mean, if I was recommending pans for rear sump, I just go with the Moroso. They have a really nice deep rear, but it's super thin. And then this right here is hitting on the windage tray, but now it's also, the pickup's also hitting on the baffle. So I mean, it just very poorly designed. In the video here, hopefully we get this project moving forward and get the engine finally in the car. I thought this was already going to be running and driving, but it's been so much time since we got the police car, stripped the police car, stripped the Camaro, put this together the first time, then pulled it apart, then put it back together. So I'm just going to pretty much make this video and then we'll move forward from there. But I'm going to end the video here. If you like these videos, make sure to click the subscribe button, throw a thumbs up, throw a comment below. Let us know what you think about LS swaps that supposedly only cost $1,000. And then what do you say, Chris?
Good luck with your LS swap.
See you guys next time.